don't want to be recorded, you can turn your cameras off, right? But otherwise you may show up in our recording. We're really excited about our meeting today and our special guests, so we'll get to that very soon. Just a couple things to mention. Please do mute yourself when not talking, so we can avoid any background noise from coming in. And I will remind you when we start to screen share and look at Najat's excellent video, I'll be asking you to turn cameras off if you can, because that helps us with the juice and to ensure a smooth screening. Go ahead and drop your information in the chat if you haven't already. I'm just curious where people are signing in from, and maybe let us know something good that's happened for you this week. It's always great to hear from everybody and know what's going on with folks. All right, thanks for being here, everyone. I am now going to introduce Jean Entin, or Entine? Is it Entin or Entine?
Entine.
Entine rhymes with 9. Okay. Sorry about that. Jean Entine, who is a member of our advisory board, which we're really excited to be having that again. And Jean is going to start us off with a land acknowledgement. Welcome, Jean.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
If you can pinch this picture, I want to start by acknowledging that today's presentation is going to focus perhaps more on the people, the native peoples, than it is on just on the land. And I chose this image to begin with because I think it tells a story and gives us something to think about. The artist is portraying at the very bottom, when you look at the clothing that the woman is wearing, the trail of tears. Above that, the red, a mesa. Above that, clouds. Above that, the sky. And all being held together by an elder woman who carries it all. I found this in a store in Santa Fe some years ago. For just 1 minute, you can say it to yourself, look at the woman's face. What adjectives come to mind as you gaze at her eyes, her mouth, and her general countenance? Recognizing the people on the land provides the opportunity to reflect not only on stolen land, but also on the acts of oppression that are carried out when we deny them personhood. We can respect their courage and determination, forbearance and sense of community. Theirs is much the same as the conquered and the conqueror. They have the same makeup, but we do not see this commonality. For in order to advance, we must deny our sameness. Imagine if never again could someday be proclaimed to be for everyone. We must not lose sight of our own vocabulary that separates us. There is us and them, and us looks down upon them. And we use it all day long to describe what we're trying to talk about. Deep in our system, but we cannot lose sight of the positive changes in how this administration is elevating the visibility and opportunity for Indigenous people. Deborah is the first Native ever appointed to a cabinet secretary position. In the coming months, Wilma Mankiller, the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation, which is the largest tribe on this continent will be honored by having her face on a US quarter. And so will Maya Angelou be the first female Black to be so honored. These are teeny, teeny, tiny steps taking centuries to happen, but important, I think, as we look upon what our country can do to other countries. I heard a song some years ago, and I couldn't remember the name of it, but it's based on a true story of men on both sides of an armed conflict on New Year's Eve. One lone soldier put down his gun and walked out into the middle of the field. This was when, fighting was on in fields. Slowly, everyone did the same thing. And for the evening, they spent talking to one another, showing pictures of their family, and then going back to war the next day. It's an amazing story for me because they were able to cross the boundary and then have to do what they have to do the next day. But there was some humanity there. And so to me, our acknowledging through all the land acknowledgements that I've read that have been done here at JVP Boston, we've acknowledged both the rights of Native people and the responsibility of allies. And perhaps this will mushroom into a larger conviction as we continue to take it into our heart and practice it in our monthly meetings. Thank you. Mark, your turn.
Thank you, Jean, for that. So my job here is just to bring some good news. It's been a difficult year. Many people have been somewhat discouraged by the lack of progress, but we have to look at the whole picture, not only here, but worldwide. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things that just happened within the past month that we probably may have not heard of, or many of us may not have, but which is significant. In Australia, this month in January, there's something called the Sydney Festival. It's a large musical festival. It turns out 24 hours before that festival was to begin, about 20 acts withdrew from the from that festival, basically to protest the Israeli government funding part of that festival. And of course, these are people that living here, we don't really know them, but they are popular there. They're popular around the world. These are things that are going on all over, and just an example. Another thing actually that happened here this month, or just recently, Representative Paul Tonko of New York became a co-sponsor of the Palestinian Children and Families Act. As you know, that's Representative Betty McCollum's act, basically saying it's essentially a sanctions act. What it is, it says that if Israel continues to abuse and detain Palestinian children, that U.S. should withhold its aid. And I think there are now up to 24 signers on that particular act, on that particular resolution in Congress. And of course, I think it's important to remember that this past year, there's been a lot of victories. Probably one of the most prominent ones was the Ben and Jerry's boycott. Just from the settlements, in some ways, not very big impact, but it created politically a huge firestorm. The Zionists were furious about it and came back and attacked Ben and Jerry's. They attacked the ice cream because of their stand of just limiting their sales in the occupied territories. There were several other things that have happened around the world. In England, there's been a lot of activity against Elbit Systems, which is a Israeli security system. There's actually been attacks on their plants and factories in England. There's been several funds in New Zealand and Norway who taken their funds, pension funds, taken their money out of the Israeli banks. So I just wanted, that's just a small sampling, that there is stuff going on, there's progress being made. People are becoming more aware. Certainly the discussion is becoming much more vocal, much more public. So I think we have a lot to be happy about, a lot to be proud about in terms of JVP's role in this, and a lot to look forward to in this coming year. Thank you. And I am now going to ask Linda to do our introduction.
Thank you so much, Mark. Before I introduce Najat, I just want to add something to the list of good news, which is that in December, UNESCO announced that it is including the craft of Palestinian embroidery to trees on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity, which is just totally thrilling. So I am grateful to Jewish Voice for Peace Boston for hosting Palestinian Canadian artist Najat El-Khairy. And I'm honored to introduce you to her and her profoundly moving artwork. Her educational journey led her from a French school in Cairo to King Saud University in Saudi Arabia, where she graduated with a BA in English literature. Art is her passion, and while she and her husband raised their 4 children, she studied dance, painting, embroidery, stained glass, and pottery. In 1988, the family moved to Montreal, Canada, where she perfected painting on porcelain under the guidance of a master teacher. At the same time, she was researching traditional Palestinian arts and found herself especially captivated by Tatriz embroidery. She began collecting village dresses and other pieces of embroidery, and living up to her name, which means rescue and survival, she sought to preserve an aspect of Palestine's cultural legacy by creating hand-painted porcelain tiles that are meticulous, stitch-by-stitch replicas of traditional embroidery designs. She has also created a series of olive tree tiles and a tree of life design based on the 8th century mosaic floor in a palace in Jericho. To me, each tile feels like a prayer in porcelain. And now I would like to pass the meeting to Mocha James, a member of the chapter organizing team, who will share a video of a presentation by Najat and who will moderate the Q&A after her presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm getting the video ready. Share.
So if everyone
Okay.
wants to turn their video off, that will help optimize performance.
Yeah.
So go ahead and go invisible for a little while.
Yeah, and I'll do the same.
Withering and perishing with time, I thought of immortalizing them on a non-perishable medium, which is the porcelain tile, and so that it stays, the patterns stay, and they prove that these are Palestinians and they belong to the land of Palestine. So to make this adaptation, I created this innovative art, and I named it Renaissance. It is exactly like embroidering, like the Fallaha embroiders her tobe. I also embroider my tile, of course, certain tools are used for this. You use canvas, you use fabric, you use thread, and you use a needle for embroidering. So I compensated these with the porcelain square tile, the paint, and a very fine pen to execute my idea. This, of course, it demands a lot of attention to detail. And now I paint these designs on porcelain tile to preserve them for generations to come. So the porcelain itself, it has to undergo a firing process in a special kiln at a very high temperature to stabilize the colors. And since then, I had this copyright in 2005, and it became my passion and my mission to preserve these wonders. So maybe now we can go on with the pictures. Mr. Faisal, please. The first one, it is the Ramallah chest panel, which is the first ever porcelain tile I created. And that's why it's very dear to my heart. And this, of course, it uses a lot of patterns, and the most important two colors in the Ramallah embroidery are the black and red and black, you know. So the black is to outline the patterns, and this style is painted around 2005, and of course, it has lots of patterns. Each pattern was named after the environment that surrounds the Fallaha in Palestine. And for instance, in Ramallah, they have, of course, the cross stitches. Of course, all these are done with the cross stitch embroidery. And here in this one, you can see the patterns of the disc or of stars, and the arch makes the V motif, and the eye, they call them funny names sometimes, eye of the cow, or the flower of Ramla, and feathers, and the harp in the middle, which it all represents the Fallaha, how she wants to put the designs on her dress, but they're typical, of course, to the area of Ramallah. And we can go to the next one. The Beit Dasham, this is a very, very condensed embroidery on this beautiful and exquisite tobe from this area, from Beit Dasham. It is the finest and most elaborate Palestinian embroidery. The names, of course, they are perfect stitches, very, very dense. And these also, the Fallaha used to take the names from the village that surrounds her. For instance, the Jaffa area and all these places, they are, of course, condensed with the orange groves. So there is the orange blossom pattern, which makes the flowers in the middle here, and the saru, the cypress trees, used to be planted around the orange groves to prevent the winds from damaging them. So they include, of course, the cypress trees in their chest panel, and there are also patterns like earrings, like steps. All these, they have names, special names. And the couching stitch, which embellishes this dress, is from Bethlehem. There was a Fallaha who went to Bethlehem, and she copied this stitch, Talhami stitch, couching stitch they call, and it is done with the gold thread and silver thread. So it used to embellish all these with not only on the chest panel, also on the side panels and the sleeves, and it makes like a bridal chest. But it was worn also on special occasions for the weddings and of course elaborate events. So we go to the next one, which is the bridal chest panel. This contemporary bridal wedding dress panel is designed by Anat a lady called Weber, Heike Weber. And I loved the chest panel, and I asked her if I can put it on porcelain, and she was very happy to give me the permission. And this is all symbolism. And in fact, this one is in the Palestine Museum, but I think it's missing the tassel, Faisal. I have to make you a tassel. So anyway, so this one is it's all symbolism, and the upper left corner is the eye, the symbol of the eye, which is protective, a symbol against evil, and it's always close to the heart. The upper right one is the crescent and the star, which is a symbol of Islamic faith. And the lower right is the fish symbol. It's considered today the symbol of Christ. And of course, it's a sign of prosperity and well-being. And the lower left is the hand of Fatima. It meant to avert and protect the heart. The zigzag around this painting is the flow of water in life. It symbolizes life itself. And all this is, I tried to imitate the satin stitch, which was also called Loza, the stitch, this pattern. And of course, the thread, the gold thread is all done in this painting with 24 karat gold. And I used the enamel technique to make it raised so that it gives the real effect of the original piece. Now we go to the Sdoud Gaza chest panel, please. Yes, this was a collection of 8 art pieces that used to be for an exhibition in the Jerusalem Fund Gallery, and it was called Gaza Collection. In the years of 2008, 2009, during the war on Gaza, and I was really very moved, and I created these 8 artwork to feel with the people of Gaza and tell them we are here, we are not forgetting you, we are here with your heart and soul. Each stitch I drew on the porcelain, I felt with them. So this is a typical chest panel from the Gaza region, and the dominant colors are the fuchsia colors and green. The patterns used here, they're mostly amulets, palm trees, and sometimes even inverted the palm trees, and the zigzag, the stair, the comb, like the mushot, you know, and some villagers also embroidered on their chest panel. It looks like a necklace instead of wearing a necklace. So this is called Khaled, which is the necklace. And this also was exhibited in the Jerusalem Fund in the year 2009, with it's entitled Conversation with Gaza. So we can move to the next one. It's Lifta. This is a chest panel from Lifta. And of course, I get my inspiration from books like from Wadat Qawar, Sit Wadat Qawar, and your book, Munayir, also. And in fact, I saw this, I think, in your book, and I tried to make it fit into the tile. So of course, it's not all the patterns that can go in. It depends on my tile, which is 12 by 12. So I have to choose and redesign a little bit to fit the tile. So these are also patterns called the baker's wife, Mart al-Farran, and the crown, which is the Taj from Ramallah and the lid. This is all the zigzag ones. And then the birds, we have birds and flowers and pots and steps, the zigzag also, we call it steps, the snail, halazon. All these are patterns that make this chest panel. So the Lifta ladies named their dresses after their branches they embroidered, and like the top of the branch or the top of the vine leaves or the top of the rooster. So this is how they named their tops, after the patterns they choose to put on their dresses. So now we have another piece which is called, I call the sampler, the next one. This I designed for this style that I mentioned, 12 by 12. And I had to, of course, count each stitch like the embroiderer counts her piece when she embroiders, and to fit each pattern to design this piece of sampler. So we have different patterns that consist, that have names, of course, and I try to put as many as I can on this one. So here I chose the pattern of Al-Amar with in the top, which is the Bethlehem star, and it's done with gold. And then we have the cypress trees, and we have the Nakhel Ali, which is on the left, the Khaymet al-Basha, the road to Egypt, the feathers and coffee beans and flowers and cauliflower, the Star of Hebron, and the flower of Ramallah, which is my hometown. The flower of Ramallah, where is it? Yeah, it's on the lower left-hand side. We can go on with the, this is now, we have a collection of 5 art pieces which were exhibited in Montreal under the name of Hope, and this is Hope Collection, or a cry, the cry for the Palestinian people. Since I am with a group called Le Levant, and I was the only Palestinian in this group, I always chose my subjects around Palestine, of course. So I said the cries of the Palestinians are, I have 5 letters to make the people of Palestine get their voices heard. Like we have, I chose the V for victory. I chose also the L for liberty, which will come later, the right of return, the equality, and the peace in Palestine. So here we come with the V, and this V is done with 5 different V's, also to protect the people of Gaza. These are all designs from our patterns from Gaza to protect the people from Gaza, like the hand of Fatima. 5 V's adorn this this art piece. Now we go to the L. This is the L, which is the liberty for also Gaza, and I chose also for the design from Gaza. The L, the big L is the design from Gaza, and the second L, which is slanted a bit, which is from Beit Dasham, the orange blossom, and the third L is the palm trees, the cypress trees, which we find in all of Palestine. The middle design represents the watch, which is called the dome also. Some people call it the dome. So it gives me the idea that the hour of liberation of the dome is a certainty. So I try to get a message, to give a message through these art pieces. Now we can go to the R letter, which are 2 inverted R's. It's the right of return. This is a cry that we want our voice to be heard, because we want the right of return. So most of it is done with the branch of the leaves of the olive trees. and they are standing. It's like the olive tree, sturdy and proud and solid in the horizontal lines, and they are standing on the walls of the motif or the pattern of the walls of Jerusalem at the bottom. So these just to say that we are here and we will stay here with the doves of peace on the sides. The following one, Faisal, please, it's the E. These are facing each other, letter E facing each other in total balance and symmetry for the equality. We need equality in Palestine. So the Haram tile makes the horizontal, the vertical lines. No, wait a minute, sorry. The horizontal lines, and then the vertical lines are called cushions. So this also, the cushions are designed from Gaza. So we need to have peace. We need to have tranquility. And when we put our head on the cushion, we need tranquility. And we need also the rose birds, the motif of the birds in the middle are called rose birds. And this is what we need in Palestine to be peaceful and equal in all rights. So we can go to the last one, which is the P in Palestine. This I like the script. It is a Vivaldi script, and I like the artistic way it flows. And this also, all this design is made by with the walls of the design, the pattern of the walls of Jerusalem. So also we need this. It symbolizes the capital, the eternal capital of Palestine. And the dome, also the doves of peace, they make their presence with the olive branch. So we need peace in Palestine. So these were the cries during that exhibition that I wanted to show to people that we have hopes also for Palestine. Now we come to that particular painting, which this was inspired by Samia Halabi, the original designer of the piece. I bought a T-shirt for my children, which was printed on the T-shirt, and it was just a little square in the middle with Palestine, and then some villages around. She had made it a painting, but I didn't know then that it was her design. I just bought the T-shirt, and I tried to to add more names of villages, even the villages of that were erased. And even Hanan, if you remember, you gave me the name of two villages which were wiped up off the map, the Amwas and Yalo. And I introduced them here. Amwas is in the bottom, and Yalo is on the side. And also I introduced our Wadi Hnain, and I designed, more Kufi script to integrate it with this villages of Palestine. And I chose the color brown, symbolizing the earth that will always stay in Palestine, in our hearts. So this is the story of that painting. We can move on.
Hey, everyone. We just wanted to show you some of that and make sure we have time to actually talk with Najat. and ask questions and hear from them. So if everyone, feel free to put your cameras back on, and we'll do what we usually do, which is to have people go ahead and put comments or questions in the chat, and then we'll pose them to Najat. And, you know, you can have a question or even just a general reaction is always great, right? Any artist loves to hear how their work impacts other people. So feel free to be open with that.
Can people just raise their hands, Mocha, as well?
Sure.
Thanks.
I have a question actually, which is around Najat. Was there a particular like first piece of tatriz that you came into contact with, or a garment that really made an impression on you? Like, I would be so curious to know kind of the origin story of what it was about the embroidery for you.
You're muted, Najat.
Yeah. Well, the whole embroidery, Palestinian embroidery was really something that I grew up with in starting from our home when I was a child. So there was like a tablecloth that really struck me, and it was really the original one on the Rumi fabric and with the silk thread. And I always admired this piece. It was the only piece maybe that my mother could save from Palestine. And I wondered how it was done, and the beauty of the embroidery stayed with me. So from childhood, I really fell in love with this art. So when I had a chance to learn the painting on porcelain, and I used to paint the flowers like Dresden technique, the European technique, and all these beautiful porcelain on even Limoges and all these things. I said to myself one day, no, I have to do something that comes out from my heart, you know. So that's why I started my adventure in doing or creating these replicas on porcelain. And when it was a success, I said, this is me. I found myself. Why was I born on this earth? You know, just to preserve this thing that really is very dear to our hearts. So this was my story with this little tablecloth.
Thank you, Najat. Also, I neglected to just say thank you so much for being here and sharing the work. We really appreciated seeing that video and getting a really intimate experience with your art. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you for having me, really. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
A number of people wanted to know where to find your work, and Lauren posted your website so people can find out more about where Najat's work is. And then there was one question about, so yeah, someone wanting to know if you could talk more about how you painted the tiles.
How I painted the tiles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay.
Yeah. So painting a tile is not easy, because you have to, of course, think about the patterns that you want to use and what fits, and the subjects that I want to portray, and the message I want to give. So I choose my patterns and motifs according to the subject. So of course, painting is, I substitute of course, the needle and the canvas and the thread by my tools, like the tile, the porcelain tile, and the paint, of course, and my little pen. The pen is really a very thin pen, like the old ways, that when we dip the pen in the ink and we start writing, this I started to make cross by cross. So of course I had to design all these things and fit them in the tile as much as I can, and create my artwork in this manner. And the tile, of course, undergoes a firing process. It depends on once, twice, sometimes 3 times. And sometimes I had accidents, and the tile just breaks and it shatters, and of course it's devastating. And most of it's not easy to have a perfect tile, but with experience and with with good luck, I have my tile intact, and that's why I really I'm proud of what I'm doing, and it's really something satisfying, and I get the results I want. So this is something good. Yeah.
Najat, how do you source your materials? Are there any stories there?
The stores, no. To tell you the truth, I had to for those styles, I buy them from Montreal here, and the paint as painting for the material and the brushes and all these tools, I used to get them from the States. They have a lot of places there, like Maryland, China, like Rhine, China, and all these tools are from there. The kiln, of course, I purchased from here, and I had a kiln in my house, and I even had 2 kilns. And this is how I worked. I studied under the Hungarian maître for porcelain painting. And later on, I got another instructor, a Quebecois instructor, and then I did my own art by combining the porcelain, the Palestinian embroidery with the technique that I learned for painting. So I created this innovative way for cross stitching. And this, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has the work been shown in Palestine, and what's been the reaction, if so?
In Palestine, no. No, but in Jordan, yes. In Europe, yes. In the States, yes. Of course, here in all over Canada, but in Palestine itself, no. It hasn't been shown there. No, I didn't have the chance yet. Yeah. So hopefully one day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks like people are interested in some highly technical details about if you're using electric kilns, gas, wood, how long it takes to produce each tile.
Yeah.
And then the folks who asked that question, if you want to add on to that as well, feel free to mic up.
Yeah, so the kilns are of course electrical, and luckily I have an automatic one. Usually they used to have like cones, and they used to have each hour you have to adjust the kiln, and but I luckily I had an automatic one, and it takes up to like 3 to 4 hours to reach the peak of the temperature. It was 1,500 Fahrenheit. It's very, very hot, and it cools down for like 9-10 hours or even overnight. So I cannot open the kiln until it's really cool and see the results of my work. And it's always surprising and really overwhelming when I take a kiln out of I take a tile out of a kiln. I really am satisfied and happy with the results most of the times. But I saw a few Tree of Lives and it shattered in the kiln. So it was really disappointing. After all the work that has been, done, and it takes hours, of course. Some of the tiles take up to 4 weeks. Some of them, it depends on the time I put and the effort I put on a tile and the intricate work that is entailed in the making. So, but it's really satisfying, and it's a passion for me to come up with results like these. Mark, yeah.
Yes, I just want to say, how much it touches me, because you've taken essentially abstract designs and you've connected them to reality of a place and of an experience and a history. I particularly was taken by I think your last tile, and you said you added the village of Emwas. And if I recall, I think I visited that. And ironically enough, I think it was taken over by Israel. It's now called Canada Park, where this,
you're right.
Yes, where this village is. And I fortunately was able to go there and tour it with the original inhabitant of Emwas, an older gentleman, and who showed the reality of it. But I guess the point I'm making is that how powerful, besides being beautiful art, your tiles, how they connect to the real history. And to me, that's like raises the art to a higher level.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I meant to put it. I meant to put things that were erased, but it was erased on ground, but they're not erased in our hearts, really. And this is very important for people to know how many villages were wiped out. And we have to document all these things. So that's why I put them, and it's something really important for people to know what happened on the ground. And my art is always messages of love, of existence. I don't know, the video shows more of my art to give messages. Like I don't know, maybe you can see this one. This one is existence, and it shows two village women. They're wearing their robes, and they're surrounded with the olive trees, the olive trees and the cypress trees and the key motifs. Each motif has a name. The key, which it represents the buildings that were erased. The olive tree, I draw olive trees, and I paint olive trees, and I make them like raised work to give them their shininess and existence. So each artwork I create has a message, and that's why I speak through my art, really. And there is also and there is also depends on the subject of the exhibition that we present. I always have a way to put the Palestinian existence and Palestinian culture in the tile. So to raise awareness of who we are and the history that we have and the culture that we are all proud of. So and as you mentioned also in the presentation that my name is Najat, and this also, and the year I was born, 1948. This is also something that's hit me, and this is, I wanted to rescue this because Najat means rescue. And that's why I felt the need to rise up to my name and rescue our beautiful, distinct culture and heritage by spreading a positive awareness to our peaceful, loving people. The year 1948 made me realize that I was given life and my people lost theirs on that year. That's why my name and the year I was born were the dynamic force behind my creation in reclaiming and preserving our Palestinian heritage. So that's why I always feel that these are signs for me to do this work, to do this mission. So I found myself, I found my identity. Why am I here? Just to give this message to people and to tell them that we are here, we exist, and we have a land that was lost and one day will return to its people. So this is very, very important for me, and of course for every Palestinian. And I feel like when I came to Canada here, I feel like an ambassador for our people to show who we are. And we were really wronged, and we were not the cause of this wrong for any people, the Jewish people who are also, we used to live together, we used to be in harmony together. So we are not the cause of the suffering of the Jewish people that we also feel. So it's something really, really important for me to show this culture and preserve it and reclaim it, you know. So that's why the UNESCO, when they recognized that this is a heritage, and but I object a little bit of the word intangible, because intangible, it means not having physical presence. The word intangible. So that's why I feel the intangible, the tangible, they should say tangible, because this can be touched. Our embroidery can be touched, our clothes can be touched, we can see them, we can wear them. It's not like a folklore like dance, poetry, history, things that you cannot touch. But this is something you can touch. You live with it. You wear it. You make it. So this, I feel that it's not the real correct word in that context. So this is how I feel about our culture, because it is a culture that dates back to the time of the Canaanites. So it's something that it's ancient, and it belongs to of course the Palestinians. And I'm very happy that UNESCO did this, but I hope they can change this little word to instead of intangible, tangible. Yeah.
Najat, building on that idea of being tangible, there's a question about how I guess around the balance between creating work that's maybe more general, where you're talking about ideas of peace and liberation and right of return, versus something more overtly specifically political, maybe pointing to one specific event. Or Skip is talking about rebel spirits as being one of his favorite works of
Yes.
yours. And so, yeah,
Yes.
wondering if you could talk about the balance between being more general and overtly political.
Yeah. Can we have the picture of it, or it's difficult to put it to the rebel spirit?
I can try to bring it up if you give me just a moment.
Yeah, rebel spirit. The rebel spirit is the tree, the olive tree. And there is also something also which is return of the soul. If you can just show these two pieces. Yeah, the rebel spirit, I painted it. It was a title taken from Khalil Gibran. And it was also with my group, which is called Le Levant. We always choose a title. And I didn't know what to say, what to do with the rebel spirit. And at the time, there was all these olive trees that were always uprooted from their land and the earth, and it was really something very, very upsetting. So I painted this tree that defies to be uprooted, and it doesn't want to have the fate of its sisters, the other olive trees around it. So the olive trees are rebelling. The cut olive trees are rebelling, and they want to really nurture the standing olive tree, and they want to give it life in order not to be uprooted and to continue surviving. So this was my interpretation of this title. And I also painted the background of that. No, I don't think. No, it's not this one. Anyway, I hope I wish I had it. No, it's in the video. It's in the video that you showed.
Yeah.
It's in the video. Yeah,
okay.
It's in the video that you showed later on, and
I got rid of the video.
It has a background all embroidery, and the embroidery also means that it's all patterns chosen from the Palestinian embroidery, like the walls of Jerusalem, the road to Nablus, and the old man's teeth, which is also a symbol. This is it, yeah. And it's also the symbol that we are clinging to our earth, to our land with our teeth. So all these, the mountains of Jerusalem also, and all of this make the background of the painting. And one of the roots is the map of Palestine that is really entrenched in the soil. So this is the interpretation of this painting. The other one, I don't know if you can also fish it out, is the wall. This is one of those village women, and the map of Palestine I always embedded in the olive trees. This is the one that is behind me, yeah, and it's all, and this is called the key. And this is liberation. She's liberated, and she's just wants. This is a painting that I made. I was in Basel, Switzerland, and on a stroll with my grandson on the River Rhine, I saw this rock formation on the edge of the shore of the river, and it hit me. It hit me because it's like Palestine, you know, the map of Palestine. And I said, how ironic in Basel, where the first Zionist movement made their meeting, and it was really something that hit me, that I said, I have to paint this. And I painted it, and it was very symbolic. And this is the olive harvest, which is also something that is annually, the people of Palestine struggle to collect their olives, but it is always festive for the Palestinian people. And this is also was a collection that was named Forbidden Colors. Also in Jerusalem Fund, the curator there, Dagmar, came up with the title of Forbidden Colors. The Forbidden Colors were during 1980, Palestinian artists were forbidden to use the 4 colors of the flag. And really they were tortured, and they were, confiscated their artwork. They were imprisoned because they used those 4 colors. So it was really forbidden. And since the Oslo Accord, 1993, the ban has been abolished since that. But it was something that was in the history of the Palestinian people there. And this is the dove, that it's called the dove, and it was also a series called Catharsis. And she was dreaming of the return, and the Catharsis was transformed into an olive tree, also
sign of peace.
It's a sign of peace, of course, and it was metamorphosed in a olive tree, and just wanted to be liberated. So also, yeah, this is the first olive tree I made. Yeah, you're on the website, huh? Yeah. This is also an olive tree, which also has the walls of Jerusalem as patterns, as a background. And I always choose to put the flower of Ramle, and it's my hometown. And also you can see the map of Palestine between the branches and in one of the roots also. So this is the also olive grove of Palestine. And also here, this is a dense olive tree. Yeah.
We're getting towards our time mark, so I wonder if maybe Skip, you can stop share for now, and because I just want to let other folks come in if we have maybe a last question for Najat.
Yeah.
Linda, you got a question.
I'm so glad that we got to see the olive tree series, and I've been fascinated that you have put embroidery in the landscape. That you've, and I wondered if you could talk about that a little bit. It's really a fascinating combination.
Yeah, this is why, yes, I love this too. I love to do it because instead of just painting any dunes or whatever, I just wanted to also tell people that every grain in Palestine of sand is embedded in our embroidery also. So our embroidery is a symbol of all of Palestine, even in the sand, even in the dunes, even in the sky. When I put the Bethlehem stars, everything is a cross stitch. It says Palestine. So Palestine, the embroidery is the symbol of Palestine. These patterns, they symbolize Palestine itself. So that's why I like to put this scenery and background and combine both of them. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any remaining questions or comments? We have about 2 minutes.
We have 2 minutes. Okay.
Anybody? Okay.
We have 2 minutes for.
Okay, I think people are satisfied. We've had questions answered. So Najat, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your beautiful work. Thanks for the experience of, being able to get closer to your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, everybody. Jocelyn and Mark and Jill and Susan and Mocha and Nicole. These are the names that I grasped all of a sudden, And then I really, I really am overwhelmed with all the love and appreciation of my art, because I hope it gives a message of peace and love and fairness and justice and all these beautiful things.
So beautiful. It was an honor to be with you.
Thank you. The honor is mine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will now turn the meeting over to Susan for our next agenda item.
Hi, that is a hard act to follow. I'm very humbled